Hey guys, today we are going to talk about the books that I read this year that I still own. Let's start with an absolutely adorable one that I highly recommend, and I love the cover. White Fox in the Forest. This is the sequel to a middle grade book that I read a few years ago, and it's so cute. I have The Love Script by Tony Shiloh. I liked this book, didn't love it, but very glad that I read it. If you know me, you know I love a little golden book, and I'm obsessed with this one. We Can Count on 11, A Stranger Things Little Golden. In the same vein of Little Golden book, is Queen Elizabeth II one. Love this so much. It's really great and informative about the Queen, and I highly recommend getting this, just even as a keepsake. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, the animated story. This book, so beautiful. The End of the Age. I really enjoyed this one, more so at the beginning, but I'm definitely glad that I read it. I feel like it is very realistically told in a way that biblical prophecy could play out, at least for when it was written in the 90s. I was very impressed by the modernization of technology and the way that things really could be, considering we could not have even conceived of some of these technologies back then. Forever and always love Pride and Prejudice. And this edition of Persuasion, oh my gosh, handwritten classics are so fun because they come with these little pouches that have, if you can tell, like mementos and handwritten looking letters and just different things from the story that looks like what it actually would have looked like. To Stranger Things, we have Runaway Max. I really enjoyed this story because Max is one of my favorite characters, and I thought it very well aligned with Stranger Things. It is one of the official novels, so definitely recommend this one, and I really enjoyed it. Early on in this year, I read The Betrothed by Kira Cass, and I still want to read the sequel to this. I liked this. I didn't love it. I didn't really agree with some things at the end. I think I would have made a different choice. I love how beautiful it is. Like, look at those end pages. Like, this cover is so pretty. I don't think the lighting is doing it justice, but I needed this lighting so I didn't look like I'm deathly ill, because I'm not, I promise. I just sound not great. I reread a childhood, I guess you could say, a teenhood favorite, which is this is part of the Caitlin O'Connor Diary of a Teenage Girl series by Melody Carlson. I loved this when I was a teenager. I love that it's like handwritten, almost like a diary. I enjoyed the reread, but it's not like I adored it. But I'm glad to have it. The Paid Bridesmaid by Soraya Wilson. I remember really enjoying this during my, what was it called? Like TBR Madness. During March Madness, I kind of did like this bracket system for the books that I was reading. And I think this is the one that won. I definitely want to do that again next year. I thought that was fun, but I just remember enjoying this, and I do recommend that you all check it out. Now we're getting into some favorites. Love A Shiver of Snow and Sky. If you know from last year, A Storm of Ice and Stars was like my favorite book of the year, or one of my favorites of the year, and this is the companion novel. It was just as amazing as I anticipated, if not more so. Having read the companion book makes this one so much better, and having read this one makes the companion book so much better. Love these. Cannot recommend them enough. It's just the perfect winter read. It's so moving and beautiful. If you haven't read these, you need to. And look at those covers. Oh my gosh. Again, the lighting doesn't do it justice, but so fun. The back. Look at that. Gotta get it. So then I reread this kids abridged version, The Pilgrim's Progress, which I loved this as a kid, and I did really enjoy rereading. But I loved even more, probably my favorite read of the entire year, Hind's Feet on High Places. Whoever recommended this to me, sorry, my books are falling. Whoever recommended this to me as part of my 12 challenge, thank you, bless you. I am so grateful to have read this book. I didn't know I needed this in my life, but I desperately needed it this year, and I am so so glad that I read it, and I really want the illustrated version. If you read anything in 2024, I am officially recommending this to you. If you're doing the 12 challenge, put this on there. That is your engraved invitation to read this one next year. Do it. You won't regret. Well, maybe you will, but I have never heard a person who did. So, read this. That is the first of the 5 books that surprised me the most this year, and here are the 4 others. Unashamed by Francine Rivers. This is a Rahab retelling, and I just really love this. Like, this book made me realize how much I want to read more biblical retellings. The Cheat Sheet. I've said it over and over again, but I need this in a movie. Someone make it happen. That's all I have to say. Like, I have nothing else to say. Just need this in a movie. This was one of my first favorites of the year, and I had never heard anyone talk about it. I found it in a little free library. It was an ARC, and I am so glad that I picked this up. So fun. Salt and Sugar by Rebecca Carvalho. Oh my gosh. This is what made me realize that I like the bake shop, bakery type trope. So fun. And it really like gave some High School Musical vibes, but like with baking, and a cute like clean high school romance. There was a kissing part that was kind of descriptive, and I thought might be getting a little too far, but it never went anywhere, and I really enjoyed this. Also, how pretty is this cover? Like, I love this book. I am so glad I read it. Final fiction book before we get into the nonfiction. I really enjoyed The Reunion by Kayla Olson, and I wasn't expecting it. There is one open door scene that is literally when they are filming something, so you'll know when it's about to happen and you can easily skip over it. But other than that, it's clean, it's enjoyable, so cute. So glad I read this. Those are all my fiction books. Let's get into some nonfiction books that literally changed my life this year. Well, first let's talk about the nonfiction that maybe didn't change my life, but I certainly enjoyed. We have What Teachers Make. I really liked this for like the teacher inspo and just motivation and reminder of how important a good teacher can be. For women only, this is kind of talking all about relationship stuff, but it's really good, and I definitely do plan to reread this many times throughout my life. Work and Family Collide, talking all about good work-life balance. We all need that. Gospel-centered discipleship. I loved this because it actually talked about gospel discipleship. Like it should. And I say that because at the same time I was reading another book that was supposed to be about discipleship that had nothing to do with discipleship, and it was really irritating. But this one actually talks about it, so highly recommend. The 5 Love Languages. If you have not read this, I definitely would just recommend checking it out. It's so good to know not only your love language and the way that you receive and give love, but the way that other people receive and give love as well. Now, this wasn't necessarily as life-changing as the other 4, but it's really good, and I finally finished it, which I know you guys can just applaud. Thank you. Finally did it. I've only been talking about this book since I started BookTube. It's been ridiculous, but I finally finished Unplanned by Abby Johnson. Did that one. It's so good. I mean, I feel like it was very much just like the movie, but it's in her own words, and I really appreciated that, like hearing the story from her perspective. These 4 though. Oh, these books came for me in a way that I just was not expecting. All 4 of these I had gotten years ago, and only God could have known that I would need these in 2023 because wow. Let's just let the tabs on this one speak for themselves. When God Says Wait, this book. I think I might actually, you know what? I read this very early in 2023, and I think I just might need to reread it again. This one actually is a little bit relationship-y, which made me think I wasn't gonna like it, but I really enjoyed it. Don't even really remember it that much, to be honest, so maybe it wasn't like a 5-star, but some good quotes in here that I'm seeing. I need to reread this one again because these books are so good. 2 final books for this video. These 2 came through for the very difficult season of life that I have been in since about, and I have not really talked about that on my channel, and I'm not going to because it is location specific and very personal to me and a lot of people close to me. But it's been a very challenging year, And these two books really helped me build my faith, stay close to God, and get closer to Him. And they just really, every single day that I read them, were exactly what I needed to read. I don't know how God does that, but it was fantastic. Felt like this was going to be a good one, but I had no idea how good this one was going to be. I thought it was going to be terrible. I thought I was not going to like this at all, and I loved it. Every single day was just so on point, so perfect. I'm so glad that I read these two, and I highly, highly recommend Girl Meets Change and Through the Eyes of a Lion. If I could recommend any nonfiction books to you this year, it's these 5 right here. I'm going to end this with one honorable mention because there is one book that has stood out all this year long. Let me go get it. Other than the Bible itself, this study. I have talked about this so much on my channel this year. I feel like I should be paid a sponsorship for it, but no, seriously. If you do any Bible study next year, make it this one. It's so good. It's immeasurably more a word study with the book of Ephesians. It's an Elevation Church study with Holly Furtick, written by Brittany Akinsola and Eric Stanford. So good. So, oh my gosh, like deep diving into the book of Ephesians and like what the Bible actually says. You also will practice memorizing verses from Ephesians, getting the background on different verses and verses that connect with it, like historical background. It's beautiful. Like this study, I'm on my second go through of this and I'm about to like restart it after I finish it because it's just that good. I know I should focus on some other books, but I literally, like, I wish they did this for every single book in the Bible. That would be so good. I will literally take like a section a day and focus on it, which I'm really excited to get back into. Now that my Advent devotional is done, I can finally get back into my reread of this, and I don't have that much left, which is so sad. I am very excited to continue it. But yeah, overall, this has been a staple throughout 2023, so I could not have this video without it. Definitely recommend you check this out. Easily one of the top books of my year. That was a lot, and I hope my voice wasn't too annoying to listen to, but I do hope that you guys found some fun books to check out and some very thought-provoking ones too, whether you're looking for fiction or nonfiction or devotionals or Bible study or whatever. This video pretty much had it all, and this year pretty much had it all. I am so thankful for the books that I've read. This obviously is not everything that I read. I read some great ebooks, some great library books. I unhauled a ton of books. I DNF'd a bunch of books this year. This year was the year of DNFs. Like, if I wasn't liking it, I didn't really care if I finished it. And that is everything for this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new and you want to see future content. I will be getting into my TBR game, my 12 challenge, my little free library haul and unhaul videos are coming back. Can't wait. Also be continuing audiobooks in coffee shops, blind date with Bookmas, which I've got to figure out what books are going to go into that for this coming year, and other reading vlogs to come, so stay tuned. I'm super excited for 2024, and I hope you are too, and I will talk to you all next time.